Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're talking about once again Fate Remnant Collide. So yeah, let us begin. So we currently go back to where Rex and Yang were about to get attacked, or more specifically, Yang was about to get attacked by the Ursa. As we currently see him saying, "No!" said Rex. As when Rex said that, a magic circle would once again appear, or I guess you can say like a glyph in like the terms of Ruby. As when the glyph, activated, it would start bringing off this almost malicious intent, almost similar to that of like how he usually summons like other servants, or at least soon other servants. But either way, as when it finally did, a sword would appear out of nowhere and would slash the Ursa, like the Ursa's arm, or at least its paw away, ripping it off from its body. As the Ursa would basically scream out in pain or roar, as when the sword, was basically, fully revealed, it revealed a woman. As she would say this, servant, saber, she would say. As instead of being Siegfried, it's obviously a female, obviously, but she would also look much more monstrous. Let's just say that. As it would be revealed to be a woman with, I guess you can say like purplish skin with cyan hair, with also like hints of like I guess pink. And she would also have horns that resemble lightning bolts. And she would also wield a large sword that is definitely Japanese in origin, or at least in his opinion. As the woman would say this, "I am Ibuki Doji, daughter of Orochi," she would say. As after saying that, she would wield her sword as she would say this. "So, may I ask, who is the one who summoned me?" she would say. With a little bit of of a wild like glint in her eyes. As he would say this, specifically, Rex, the fuck did I just hear? Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on, as we currently see Rex there, as you would say this. So the so-called drunken demon, or at least a variation of him, seems that she's a girl. Either way, as he would say this, "I am your master," he would say. As she would say this, "Oh really?" she would say. "Then mind telling me what should I do first?" she would say. As she would wield up her sword, as she would say this, "Kill all the Grim around you, and please protect my friend over there," he would say. As Yang currently was like confused after seeing her, as she would say this, "What? Uh, who are?" As she would say this, "Very well then, master," she would say. As she would wield up her sword, as she would say this, "I'll cut them all into pieces," she would say. As her evil, almost like demonic glint would be in her eyes, as she would smile sadistically. Wait for a second. As after being told of this, she would say this. Hmm, "I'll cut them down for you, master," she would say. As she would get ready her sword, as clouds would start rolling in from above her, from her head, as several serpents that are colored white would appear. As when Yang saw them, she would say, "What the hell?" she would say, as she would start running up to, as she would decide to run towards, where Rex is, as she would say this, "Hey, mind telling me what the hell is going on?" she would say, as he would say this, "Well, this is my semblance," he would say, as after saying that, she would say, "Wait, you're able to, do that?" she would say, as he would say this, "Well, they sort of do it for me than anything else," he would say. He would, he would sort of lie, as after saying that, we would currently see, or at least we would go back to Ibuki Doji, as she would start tearing them apart, as these serpents would start shooting off blasts of lightning, fire, and I think wind. Or at least that's in the animation. Wait for a second. Anyway, continue on with this episode. As after saying, or at least after doing so, she would say this. "This is so much fun," she would say, as she would start cutting them down once again, as you would currently see, in the sidelines, both Rex and, Yang, as Yang would say this. Dang, she's that strong, she would say, as he would say this. Yeah, let's just say she's absolutely, battle hungry, he would say. And quite interesting, he would say. He does know the legend of, of Ibuki Doji during his time in his old world, being that of, one of the origins of, you guessed it, Shuten Doji, which apparently in one of the legends, or at least one of the origins about, well, her in this case, is that she was born from the egg of, you know, Yamato no Orochi, or if you get from, or if you know from Naruto, you know, Orochimaru. Yeah, if you guess in the background, I'm sort of like watching something in the background. So yeah, sorry for the noises there. I just like hearing that just because. Wait for a second. God dang. Anyway, continuing on, as we currently see them, just like watching in the sidelines, as he would say this. I hope the, you know, Crow comes back here soon, he would say. As we go back to Crow, still pretty much in the line, as he would say this. I hate this, he would say. As after saying that, you would hear from nearby a few people were talking, as they would say this. Hey, have you heard? Apparently there's a breach in one of the walls, as one of them would say this. Yeah, it seems so. Thank God there's a few, evacuees there now. Or at least, people that are evacuating from that part. I heard that there's multiple Grims there. I definitely feel bad for some of them. As after hearing that, he would say this. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, he would say, as he would look towards the guys, as he would say this. Hey, do you perhaps know which part of the forest exactly? He would say, as he would say this. Oh, don't you know? Hey, you actually don't know? He would say, as he would say this. Yeah. Um, why is that exactly? He would say, as he would say this. Well, as he would explain that apparently the part that was being quarantined or being told to basically get out of there, well, it's just, it's the part of the forest where currently both Yang and, Rex are basically in. As we could currently see, you know, Crow basically sweating bullets right now, as you would say. Glinda's gonna kill me, he would say. As he would decide to leave, decide to just get lunch somewhere else and would just start leaving to go where Yang and also Rex are. Just to make sure that, something doesn't, nothing bad would happen. But unfortunately, this bad thing does happen. So yeah. So let's go back to, both Rex and, and Yang. And also his new servant, Ibuki Doji. So, as we go back to them currently, as we currently see them after basically in the aftermath of, an entire battle between, Ibuki Doji and the several Grimm, as these Grimm were basically being slaughtered by her, as the several serpents that were basically, bounded by, by some of the Grimm, like the Grimm are basically, bounded to the ground by these serpents that were created from Ibuki Doji, as she would say this. So easy, she would say, as she would cut off one of the heads of the, Ursa that was trying to attack her. As she would see another, another Ursa coming towards her and a few, Beowulfs. As she would say this. Cut them down, she would say. As she would use his, she would basically use her hand as lightning would start to crackle around it. As after doing so, a slash of pure lightning would come out. Purple lightning to be more specific, as it would instantly cleave all of these Grimm in an instant. As she would say this. That was easy, she would say, as she would look over towards her master, aka, you know, you know, our boy over there, aka Rex, as she would say this. It's done, master, she would say. Now, is there anything else should I do? Is there anything else for me to do? She would say, as he would say this. Um, as he would just, be silent. As for Yang, she was also silent. As she would say this. What? Too stunned of my beauty, she would say. As she would basically gloat about herself. As he would say this. Um, it's just, I never thought I would have an actual, like, another, another servant. Not only that, of the same class, he would say. Yeah, she would say this. Hmm, yeah, it's pretty much interesting. Either way, should I just go back to the, as he would say this? Yeah, you should probably get out of here. Or at least turn into your spirit form, he would say. As she would say this. Hmm, fine, she would say. As after saying that, she would start disappearing, transforming into, into, pure golden dust particles as they would disappear. As after that whole situation, Yang would just look at him, as she would say this. Mind telling me what the heck was that? She would say, as he would say this. Well, as he would say this. Alright, just please don't tell anybody about this, he would say, as she would say this. Um, sure, she would say, as he would, explain a little bit, except for the whole part of him except for the, the whole part about, him being reincarnated here after, a literal war between legends basically, happened, and that's how he got his powers, but, that's a whole different story. And so, after explaining that, she would say this. Huh, so that's your semblance. That's quite overpowered, she would say, as he would say this. Yeah, and I'm not sure about the whole I'm going to be getting more than I bargained for, he would say. And I'm starting to think that I might get an army, he would say, as she would say this. Probably, she would say. As after saying that, he would say this. So, what should we do now? But before they can, they would hear, Hey, kids, are you okay? He would say. As they would look over, as they would see, Crow. As Crow is currently carrying a bag full of food. As he would say this. Are you okay? Did any grooms came by? Yeah, I meant, did any grooms came by? He would say, as, both Yang and, him are basically looking at each other. As, Rex would say this. Well, no, he would say, said Rex. As Yang would say this. Yeah, there was no Grim here. Why do you ask? She would say. As he would say this. It seems that we're gonna be leaving now, so let's go, he would say. As after saying so, they would start leaving the area. So, after that, they would arrive at a little, like, cabin-like place where everybody's basically staying. As we would currently see them eating lunch together, including him and Yang right beside him. As, Crow would say this. I've never been told of this, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. Told about what, he would say. As he would say this. Well, apparently that place is strictly prohibited because apparently something weird happened. Apparently there was a breach in the walls, so Grim basically came in and decided to wreck the place. Or at least, I hope they didn't wreck you specifically, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, don't worry, we're fine, and besides, there was no Grim there at all. As after saying that, he would say this. Thank God then, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. Alright, we're gonna be going home soon, so be prepared, he would say. As he would say this. Sure thing, Uncle Crow, said, said Yang. As he would say this, specifically, Rex. Yeah, sure, Professor Crow, or Teacher Crow. As he would say this. Anyway, be prepared, he would say. As after saying that, they would start leaving to pack all of their things. And so, after that, they would start leaving, going back home. So, when they arrived back home, he would say goodbye to Yang, as we currently see him leaving to go back to Beacon, where his mom is. As when he arrives there, he would see his mom, with Ozpin, as Ozpin would say this. Ah, there you are. So, how was your day, he would say. As he would say this. Well, it was pretty fine. And, well, as he would basically explain a little bit of, a little bit that happened. Except for the part of him basically, basically being attacked by Grim, but mostly about the part of him getting a new servant. As when he said that, one of them would say this. So you're saying that you're able to summon another one? Mind telling me who she is, he would say, specifically Ozpin, as he would say this. Guess I'll just have to show you then, he would say, as after saying that, Ibuki Doji would arrive, as she would appear in darkened smoke, or, in golden light, As she would say this. Hmm. So what do you mean of me, master? She would say, as she would look towards the two people in front of her, including her master. So yeah, that is where I'm going to be ending off this episode. So yeah, bye bye.